Okay, I'm going to take a look at this really popular video from a while back, 10 hours of walking in NYC as a woman. So here's this woman. I hope I've got the audio right finally. She's got a friend in front of her seat with a hidden camera, and what they're going to do is point out that all the times that people make passes at her or holler at her, you know, and about say sexual things to her just out of the blue, or like that they want to date her somehow, that's harassment. I do think it is harassment. I don't think it's an infringement that we should ban it as illegal, but it is a form of harassment. I'll get into that. It's also a waste of time from the man's perspective. I mean, like, why are the men doing it? They're never, if they were to ever see her again, they're not going to, even realize that was that girl they saw that one time. Why do they need to say this, and why do they need to say it to her? Now this fella here, he's creepy because he follows her around, and I mean, that doesn't have to be sexual to be creepy. That's just creepy. Just people just following you around. I used to follow my dad around, and he got creeped out by it. I don't think he was worried that I was a sexual predator when I was 6 years old. There's one guy in here who seems like he wants to get to know her. You got to give him a little credit. He might actually respect her a little bit, And then there's this other question of what she has on her backside. I mean, is she, have a giant cutout or something just so that people will say more? I don't know. That doesn't matter because we all can understand that this isn't that abnormal for a girl to hear that kind of stuff. She is wearing, I guess not crazy clothes, but they're not loose clothes. Is it harassment? Yes. To put it simply, this is what most girls don't know. Ladies, you kind of have the lockdown on being pretty. And you clearly don't know it, because if you did, you wouldn't try as hard as you do. You try way too hard, or I'll just put it this way harder than you really need to get men. But when a man sees you in that situation, especially if he doesn't know you at all, you pretty much have, for the moment, all he cares about. And it's hard for him to remember other things that are important to him. He's just kind of stuck on you. And here's the thing. You are sort of a goddess to him, in a sense. You've got him wrapped around your finger. You hold what he wants. If he can talk to you, then he can make you more human. He has to make sure you hear him. But that humanizes you. That brings you down a level. In a sense, it is degrading. Because I think this is what women don't realize, how high up they are in a man's perspective just for being attractive. Now on the flip side, in some of these cases, the men go so far as to insult the woman. Now here, this is really scary. That gets scary because that's a combination of disrespect with physical attraction. And that's where rape comes from. And that's kind of what the video is about. That this is kind of pre-rapey activity. Well, it sort of is. But here's the thing. We shouldn't ban it. Because it's not like saying bomb on an airplane. It's not a threat. And even though it is sort of the beginning of rape, again, like Jesus said, if you say that you hate someone, you murder them in your heart. Hate is where murder comes from. But we're not going to ban, people from saying that they hate people, because most of the time it doesn't lead to murder, and most of the time this doesn't lead to rape. In this case, she had 100+ instances of verbal street harassment in 10 hours. Okay. I don't think she got raped 100+ times. All right. Most of the time, I didn't get raped any. Okay, so most of the time, it doesn't lead to rape. It's not like saying bomb on an airplane. It's not like calling a high school and letting them know that you have a bomb in the school. That would be against the law to make that kind of threat. But this isn't a threat. although it is sort of the seed of rape. And I applaud people for understanding that is where this is, leading, and in a sense it's something that Jesus would have said. Jesus said, when you hate someone, you're already basically fantasizing about murdering them. You're just not willing to go through with it. Now here's the thing. Men out there, I want to tell you, this is not a healthy way of dealing with the fact that women are really attractive to you, and it kind of controls your heart and your mind. There are healthier ways of dealing with it. I know a lot of you out there think Jesus is the stupidest idea ever, but I'm just going to tell you anyway, and if you're willing to sit through it, Jesus saves us from ourselves, from temptations, from being overwhelmed with the temptation to do bad things and to be controlled by things you want in this world, to the point that they lead you to doing bad things. Because that's really where every evil desire comes from. Really, at the end of the day, it's something you want in this world real bad, to the point that it creates evil desires. Now, the way this works is, for a Christian, is you exercise faith in Jesus Christ, and Jesus will do something in your heart. Okay, so becoming a better Christian is not a matter of getting more self-control. It's a matter of just trusting God. And trusting God a lot of the time, just that I know you want this really bad right now, and you can't see why you would want anything else, but you just exercise faith that God's going to do something later that will just change your heart to where you think, well, why would I ever want that? Okay, so the logical part of you knows you shouldn't be doing that, but you want it really, really bad. You have to exercise faith. Trust that God will do something deep down inside you, so that even on the deepest down inside part of you, you don't want to do that. That, my friends, is salvation from sin in Jesus Christ, and it's the most important message I can share with you ever. You may think that you don't need that because you don't do anything wrong, and you're just this awesome, perfect person. If that's you, I would just say that's really easy for you to put to the test. You don't have to believe everything Christians believe about how to be a good person. Just take what you believe about being a good person and go out there tomorrow, or start right now, and just try to obey all of your own ideas about morality. Okay? Just try to be a good person. Try to not do anything wrong based on your best understanding of what that is. And you'll see real fast how sin and evil is not something that we just do when we feel like it. When you put something at the center of your life, you become a slave to it. It defines you in everything that you do. If you put money at the center of your life, then everything you do will revolve around that pursuit of money. That's what Jesus says. Anyone who sins is a slave to sin. He said, if you'll come to me, I'll show you the truth, and the truth will make you free. But he has to show it to us. It's something he does. You see, anyone can just try hard to be good and, stay away from temptations, and pray all the time. Muslims do that. Jews do that. Hindus, Buddhists, everybody does that. The difference with Christians comes from Jesus Christ. That Jesus Christ does something deep down in our heart to change us. And what the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 10:13 is he does it. It comes with the temptation, not before. It comes when the temptation comes. So you exercise faith. Salvation, so Ephesians 2:8-9, salvation is by grace through faith. So you exercise the faith, and through your faith, that is the door, you opening the door to let him save you. He's not going to force it on you. But if you are willing to receive it, it's there for you.